Hi everyone, this is Likita. Welcome to Flutter and Dart series. In this video, we'll learn about the control flow in Dart, that is condition and loops. Okay, now let's talk about the condition statements. So, what is condition statement? As the name says, so it's like an instruction that let your program to make decisions. See, based on the decisions, like if the condition is true, the code gonna run. I'll repeat it again. So condition statements are the instruction that lets your program to decide to make the decisions. The code will run only if that statements are true. So in that, the condition statements were quite similar to JavaScript. So it's to write any condition statement, we write with the keyword, if keyword, which is followed by the parenthesis and the curly braces. So inside this parenthesis, the conditions will be included, and inside this curly braces, you'll write the code that you want to execute if this condition is true. Example, let's take a rough example. Let's write a variable called battery percent, which is equals to like 25. So we are taking a battery percent of our phone, so we'll keep that as a one variable, and based on this let's write some kind of conditions and loop, and we'll see what kind of conditions will be rendered. Example, if the battery percentage is, let's write, if the battery percentage is greater than equals to 80, if that was the conditions, let's print an output called, let's print it as battery is full. Done. Or else, let's say if it is not greater than or greater than equals to 80, we just want to print it as battery is low. Battery is low. And if I run the statement, the 25, which is less than equals to 80, so of course the output will be battery is low. See, if I just change this to 95, and if I run the code, the statement, according to statement, it becomes true, then it executes the statement called battery is full. So based on the condition, it is executing the code it wants. So what if I want to involve one more statement? Let's see. I want to have one more condition, that if the battery is greater than 40. So if you want to include one more statement, we can just write if else, and you write the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we'll just write a battery percentage is, if the battery percentage is not greater than or equals to 80, it might be also greater than equals to, if it is greater than equals to 30 or something, we just want to render the statement called medium or normal battery. So which means that, see, if there is a possibility that user could not have the battery percentage of more than 80, but there are chances they could have 30, which is a normal battery. If I run this code, instead of 95, let's change it to 35. If I run this code, and if it is greater than equals to 30, then this statement, that is normal battery, will be executed. This all about the condition statement. Now let's talk about the loops. So what is loops? So loops are it is like a repeat of the block of code that we use for repeating a multiple times until the condition become false. So let's say until the condition that we have given for that loops become false, that code will be repeating for the multiple times. For example, in loop, we mainly mostly use three most used loop, that is, we use for loops, we use while loops, and do while. These are the loops which we use for rendering or repeating the block of code for the multiple times, and it is super simple. The for loops statements or syntax go something like for as a keyword, then it has a parenthesis which have to include three things. One, you have to first make sure you will initialize the variable have to be there, and this conditions, the condition for this, and for each increment, I mean each loop, the value should be increasing. So I'll explain it again. So the for is followed by the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, which includes three things. One is you initialize the variable, and second one you write the condition. Third one the incremental. So what is happening? First you write the variable. You give the variable which is equals to 0, and you write the condition until this condition become false. When this condition will become false? When the number, okay, when this I becomes 6, that is 6 is greater than which is less than equals to 5, false. So until that, this loop will repeat whatever you have written inside this curly braces. So let's print a number I mean let's print the variable I. So how the flow of this happens is, first I is equals to 0, it checks the condition. Is 0 is less than 5? Yes, it's less than equals to 5. Then it prints the number, and it comes here and it increments the 0 to 1. So the moment when it becomes 1, it goes here and again checks the condition and prints here. Until it becomes 5, it prints the output. But the moment when it becomes 6, it will check the condition. 6 is less than equal to 5? No. So here the loop stops. Okay, I think you are clear about it. The next thing is while loop. While loop is also similar to the for loop, which is just an alternative thing. So in the while loop, let's consider the variable which is usually it's not inside the for loop like how you seen. Let's initialize the variable called count or anything, or also it's fine. So the syntax for while is go something like while, you write the keyword, and you have the curly brace, I mean the parenthesis and a curly braces. So inside the parenthesis you write the condition like you want the count to be less than equals to 5, and if it is true you will print whatever there inside the curly braces, whatever the things that you have written, it will execute that code. So we just want to print the count, and each time when it's done with the loop we just have to increment it. Okay, so basically what happening here is, so first we have initialized the variable called count, which is 0. First, the moment when it enters the loop, it checks the condition. Is the 0 is less than equals to 5? Yes, it's true. It's I mean it is less than, so it prints the count and increments it to the 1. And again it comes back, its check is the 1 is less than equals to 5. Yes, it's true. Print it and increment until it crosses to 6. It comes when the 6 number comes. 6 is less than equals to 5? No. Here the loop stops. I think you're clear about the while loop also. And do while loop is something which is little different from the for and while loop. The only difference is it can even execute the code, like it can execute the code once, because in the both the condition, the both loop, the first conditions are being first checked, but the next loop we are writing, the condition will be checked at the last, that is do while. So this is the syntax. First let's create some variable called let's write I equals to 0, and inside the do while loop, usually the conditions will be at the end of the statement. Inside we'll write a do keyword, and inside the parenthesis what you have to do, we just have to print the keyword we have to print the variable, and we have to increment for the each iteration. And what is the condition if this have to be done? If it have to be done, the condition is nothing but we want that I to be less than equals to 5. So if it is less than equals to 5, then only this print sum, I mean the the code has been executed. But at least once it goes through the loop. Okay, I think you got to know about the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, the last topic of this video, that is assert. So asserts are nothing but these are kind of condition statements only. These are mainly used in the development, not in the production. And it is used to stop the app immediately when it sees the error. So how it goes is it's kind of a function, okay? It is kind of the function which takes the condition as the argument. It takes the condition as the argument. If that condition is true, it takes actually a condition. If this condition is true, it does nothing. If the condition is false, it throws the error what we have given here. So by this way, we can find out where the error is coming from, and it is easy for debugging. So in the production it will be ignored, but it is easy for debugging. So let's take an example. Let's take an example of int age equals to 20, and let's give a conditions like, let's give a condition age should be greater than equals to 25. If it is false, we just want to we just want the Dart to throw an error called the age is not greater or equals to 25. We're just telling Dart that. So what you have to do is, first you have to check this condition. If the condition is true, don't do anything. If the condition is false, you want me to throw this error, and that error says age is not greater or equals to 25. So this is mainly used in debugging some kind of errors. I mean during when you have long codes or something. Not in the production, it will be ignored. So we got an error called age is not greater than equals to 25. See here. So the age is 20 and the condition is 20 is less than equals to is the greater than equals to 25? No. So it throws an error. I think you got the concept of assert. So what it does, it takes a condition, okay? If that condition is true, it does nothing. If the condition is false, then it throws an error which we are giving. Example, if instead of 20, let's take 30, which is greater than and equals to 25, it does nothing. We get no outputs only, because if it is true, we get nothing. If it is false only, it returns some kind of error. That's it for today. In the next video, let's learn about operators.